My camera just quit, so now I'm gone to the next one here. That was 2 blue and 1 black. One orange. One black. This is probably one of the most complicated ones that it can get. I like to really pick the pictures that add quite a bit of challenge. I'm always kind of restless, and so I like challenges when it comes to crocheting. So now we got 4 green. Two, 3, 4, and then tighten this back up. Tuck it behind. Now 2 black. That's 1. 2. And then blue. It says 2 blue. This is 1. 2. 3 black. 2. And in this one, I usually kind of go up and under, and I just hook it around, and then I do 3. And you just have to kind of use your better judgment. Sometimes it looks right a certain way and not the other way, and it all depends where you want to put your hook. So just take your time, go slow, hold your tension snug, but don't hurt your hands. I love these ergonomic hooks. They're softer and they don't hurt my thumb quite as much. So we did 3 black. Now we're going to do 2 orange. That's 1. And this is 2. And now we do another 3 black. And I'm always tightening, always holding tight, holding snug, snugging up the last stitch. Now we're going to do 7 honey. See, I'm always pulling the back, all those little tails, I just pull them just ever so gently to kind of snug them up. Pull this one through. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. There we go. And then I'm just going to wrap this little guy back up. And we're going to do 1 black, and next it calls for 2 red. So this is where I'm gonna have to make another bobbin of red. So I have my bobbin, have my red thread. I like this one for this project. It's really nice and soft and it wasn't too expensive. So I'm just gonna wrap bobbin up. And how I do it is I just grab this, I put the thread in and hook it in there, hold my thumb there, and I just wrap. So then when I'm done wrapping, I just hook them in one of those slots. I'll get some scissors to cut that thread off. I don't know, I just give it to about here. I trim it. Now, this is a great example of where to take this. So I'm just going to give myself a little extra space here. Anchor it, take my thread. Now when I add thread to the work, I anchor the back one with my finger, just hold it on, and then I just, I give this about 4 to 6 inches because I'm going to have to sew it in later. So when I sew it in, see, I just give a good length, just let it fall. I hold it with my thumb, and then I get the strand up, and I just simply pull it through, just like that. And then I'll do the first half double and I'll anchor the thread in there, but that's all I do. And then I tighten the back, the couple little threads that are back there, and I just continue my stitch. And there's my first stitch. I've just added the color. It's anchored in there. It's not going to fall out. And then when everything's done, I just sew them in. And I'll make another video of how to show sewing ends in, because I guess they can get tedious and challenging, and so we'll go through that in a little while. But anyway, this was supposed to be 2 red. So what do you do when you go too far? Just take it out, go back to the first stitch, go real slow, remove that. Now we make our 3/4 of our half double crochet right here. Hold that thread on the back, put the bobbin to the back. Grab the next one. The next one says 2 black. So it looks like I don't have a black ready to go. But sometimes if you look in the back, look, this one's hanging off. It's so much lower down. I'm not going to need it again. And this is where I cut the bobbins off. So I just measure, like I said, 4 to 6 inches. That seems to be my favorite number. I take it to here and I just cut it. Anchor this up. And this end, I just let it drop. And these are the ends that you'll be sewing in later. And yes, there are quite a few. Here's another one that can be cut off because it's quite a ways down from where I'm working. I'm not going to be using that again. So then I just cut that one off too. Just cut it off. Toss it aside for when I need it again. Now, we're back here on track. We're going to open up this black one. We're going to stretch it out. I said about 4 to 6 inches, maybe not even that much, but just enough. And then I simply put it against my work, hold it with my thumb, pull it through. That's it. Now I move it to the side. I yarn over, I go through the next chain, tighten up my reds here, yarn over, pull through. It says 2 black, so we're going to go 1, and now this one can just go to the back, that strand. I'm going to prepare this honey. We're going to go 2 in here, 2, okay? Now, just tighten up this black bobbin, push that to the back, grab this honey color, and we're going to make 7. So we pulled it through, and you're going to put it through the first one, tighten up the threads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Anchor that, put it to the back, grab the black. It says 2 black. So we pull it through. 1. And here I'm going to go under the red this time. 2. No specific rules, just, you know, little preference that I like to do once in a while. I do what feels comfortable and what feels right. No judgment, you know, you just keep going on. And, you know, you can't say, hey, it looks terrible or anything like that. Because in the end, what you'll do is you'll make a beautiful border on your work anyway. So even if it is a little crooked looking, you can always straighten it out and it will look fantastic. And you'll never be able to tell. So now, how many reds are we doing? We're doing 11 reds. So that's 3, 4, 5. You get a little hook there, but you just pull through. There'll always be little snags and catches, but you just kind of work with it because, like I said, in the end, it'll all work out. You just keep your tension right. I actually, when I put my hook in, I hold the base right here and I pull through, and then I grab here and I pull through again. So I'm always holding my tension. I'm always holding this tighter. And then I go here and through, and I just try to find where it doesn't snag. So now I need 11. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And on the 11th one is where we only do 3/4 of the stitch. tighten up the bobbin. Okay, now we got one black. Untangle this here. And what I'm doing Bert and Ernie, and this is about 55 inches, I believe, wide. It's gonna be like for a twin size bed. I keep them relatively large because the images, when I make the patterns, they tend to get squished or out of proportion. And so for me to keep the proportion, I keep them sort of large. And what I mean sort of large is I'll do some patterns that are 100 stitches across, or even 200, and this one's 200, so this one's on the larger side that I choose to do. Now we do 21 honey. I found that if I do 100, it's okay. It's for a little child that could use the blanket. But when I do 200, it's nice because they can cuddle under the covers and you can lay on the bed and it actually covers the bed. And it's a nice throw for an adult as well. It gives you some space, whereas the smaller ones are nice, but they're just small. They're easy to work though, because 100 is pretty easy to get through. It's these ones that are 200 that take a little longer, especially when you have a lot of color changes like I have in this one. And if you go on my Facebook page, Crochet a Graph Patterns, I've posted a lot of free patterns that you can use that I've created as a hobby to have fun and play around and practice. And this is my YouTube channel, so if you like these videos, please hit like or hit subscribe, because every little bit helps. And I don't think we're going to get to the end of this row because it does take quite a while. But we'll see how far we can get. How I know, I just come to like where the color starts to show up, the next color, and I know that's probably close to where my count is ending. So now I'm going to look at this, and this is 21 honey, and if you want to wonder where I'm reading it from, it says right there 21 honey and then 1 black. So I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19, 20. And then I make my 21. There we go. Wind this back up. I'm sure the sound of this is probably some really good ASMR as well. You could fall asleep to the sound of this. Black, and now 7 honey. I go under this thread and through the hoop, tuck in the backs, and count 7. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We're almost to the end of the row. Got one black. Go. And then we've got blue. And we do 31 blue, and then we're at the end of the row. And so a little hint of what happened for my situation was I was planning on doing the whole background in this blue, but what happened was I ran out of the yarn, and I was worried that if I went and bought another ball of blue, the dye lot would be different, and you would see that tonal difference that happens quite often. So what I did instead is I decided to redesign the background, and I added a light gray and a dark gray to divide the blues up, so that when you look at it, your eye doesn't automatically see the tone difference. So even if you have to buy new balls or different colors and you're worried about the consistency, that's what I do. I just maybe add a stripe in there, something that just breaks it up to the eye, and then you can't even tell. I've done whites, and then I've accidentally added a cream. I've done blacks, and the black in person, the black looks great, but if you take a picture, you can see that it's not exactly the same, and well, that just kind of bugs me. So I figured out another way of trying to break up the colors and not feel guilty. So again, this picture is of Bert and Ernie from Sesame Street, just standing like a couple of pals. We're almost to the end of the row. I'll show you what we do at the end of the row. How we chain and turn. Okay, so now that I'm close to the end, I'm going to count. I'm just going to make sure that my count is correct. So it says we need 31. So I'm going to count this. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 27, 28, 29. And then you go 30. And it'll be weird. Sometimes you'll get to the edge and you'll find like, hey, my count made this big indent. But that's where I said, don't worry, because in the end, you'll just make a single crochet around as a border and then add another border on. So it'll look really elegant. But here we did 30, and now you've got to make your 31. So I go into this edge here where there's still 2 loops, and I make my 31. And that's it. And now we're going to chain and rotate. So you always go chain 1 on a half double crochet, then you turn your work over, and you've got this chain that helps bring up the height. So then I'm going to start the next one, and I'm going to go in there and make a half double crochet. And the second one. And then it's kind of time to take a break after a row because there is so much to do. So what I do then is I find one of my stitch markers. Just got to dig through here somewhere wherever I hooked it. Here it is. Just going to take it off there. A little stitch hook, a little stitch marker. And so what I do a lot is I'll take out my hook, put this here like a little pin, and there it'll never come out, and I'll never lose my space. I'll never lose a stitch, and I'll never lose any work. And then what I do is, because these things are pretty large and there's so many bobbins, I actually have them in a blanket. So I just wrap my blanket over and I fold the edges in, and I just make sure everything's tucked in like a little a bug in a rug. Just I'll wrap it all up, and then I can carry it like a ball. And thanks for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe. Have a great day.